ticking. The ticking.
Hello, you're Lewis, I presume.
Hi there, I'm Grace Viccary reporting for the Fan Carpet. We're at the world premiere of The House with a Clock in its Walls. Let's go and meet the cast. What made you come on board with this project, and how did you like your character? How did you relate to it?
Well, you know, it always starts with a script, but I already knew that Eli Roth was directing, which was a huge plus because he makes some of the scariest movies around. And I also knew that maybe, just maybe, Cate Blanchett was going to be in it. So,
and the hearsay was true.
So I read the script, I love the script, and I just pray, I hope that Cate will still be in it when she finds out that I'm going to do it. Because I don't know if she even likes me or not. And luckily...
So what was it like to work with her?
She did agree to be in the movie with me. It was awesome. I brag about it all the time to everyone I know.
I would brag about working with you.
It's the first thing I say is, Cate Blanchett and me are in a movie.
Were you aware of the books before you were approached with this film?
You know what? I was not aware of the books, which was kind of odd because I loved these kinds of stories as a kid. You know, sort of spooky stories that I shouldn't have been reading, but that really, I'm a huge horror movie fan, and became a huge fan of Eli's films as well. The writer Eric Kripke, who created the TV show Supernatural, was an enormous fan, and that's how I was introduced to them. I asked Eric, what's the thing you've always wanted to adapt? And he mentioned this book. I read it, and we kind of took it from there.
I never read any of the books by John Bellairs, but I did read this book once I got the part, and I read the script. I loved the script, and I wanted to read the book to obviously be able to tell you that I have read the book, and also to see what differences there were in the source material. And it's a magical book, and it's a really fantastic script adaptation, because the guy who did the adaptation, Eric Kripke, fantastic writer, and he loved this book so much he'd been wanting to do an adaptation since he was a kid and he read the book for the first time. So this is a really cool project and cool experience for me.
And how did Eli come on the project?
I sent Eli the script. He and I had known each other for a while. We had worked on a television show at Fox that didn't get off the ground, and it was actually going to be, it was an adaptation of Hell House, and we just basically promised each other that we've got to find something, and he read the script immediately, and he's like, Amblin, The Goonies, Gremlins, Back to the Future. It was like, yes, those are all the touchstones, and if we can capture that, because it's been so long since those kinds of horror films, those kinds of scary movies have been out there that that kids can actually go and enjoy and be super scared by, but also like come through that journey at the end and and be stronger
in the safety of their own home.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you feel like you've achieved that happily with this.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, look, it definitely. The performances are amazing. The script is incredible. It's an emotional story, right? It's about sort of the most unlikely family that kind of comes together, and this kid who just lost his parents. Cate plays a character who's also sort of damaged, and she was once a very powerful witch, but she hasn't been able to kind of use her powers in many years, and and Jack, also his character Uncle Jonathan, also has issues that he's sort of working through. So these three characters really come together, and sort of, even though they're all broken, they they become a force and save the world, of course, because that's what you do.
I got involved because the producer Brad Fischer brought it to me, and I knew I was going to do it. I'm a big fan of Edward Gorey, who illustrated the book, and I wanted to make a kids movie. I wanted to do an old school PG scary kids movie, the kind of movie that gets you into scary movies. I mean, when I was a kid, my theatrical experiences, it was like Gremlins, Goonies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Poltergeist, also Time Bandits, Labyrinth. I mean, these are movies that were such profound experiences for me because I saw them in the cinema, and there aren't a lot of movies like that. You know, everything's either PG-13 or it's G-rated and animated. So to do it with Steven Spielberg, to bring in that kind of a movie, it was really an honor.
So what was the casting process like for you?
So Cate Blanchett and I had worked together before in a film called Truth. I had sent her the script and she really responded to it. Then Eli came on and Amblin, and then it was actually Steven Spielberg's idea to go to Jack, and we're like, I mean, he's perfect, can't think of a better Uncle Jonathan, and he said yes, and we were off to the races.
You'll see. Things are quite different here.
Were there any challenges during the filming of this, and what were they?
None whatsoever. It was complete smooth sailing. You know, actually, it was probably as smooth a production as I can remember. I mean, there's always issues from weather to, you know, schedules to everything else. But, I mean, truly, it really did go pretty well. And, you know, Eli's vision was amazing. It always starts with the director. And, you know, he was a great leader and did a great job.
I don't know. It's hard to put myself in the mind of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I hope he would be proud. But you know, I'm older than the Rock, so I should say that I'm proud of the young Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think he's done very well for himself.
What was a highlight for you?
I mean, standing here is a pretty great highlight. Like, this, you know, truly coming to the end of it, and when it's done, because you're in the trenches, you're like sitting in the production office until sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and trying to figure out, you know, how to deal with whether it's budget or schedule or what have you. So it's satisfying when you're finally pulling the curtain back and showing it to the world, and even more satisfying when people love it. So hopefully they will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Do follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and we'll have more for you next time.
Have a look around.
You're perfectly safe.
That's safe?
As long as it's fed.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.